Houston 21.
We're good to go? All right, let's kick this off. It is the Denver Supercross 450 press conference. Congratulations to Chase Sexton, Ken Roxon, and Adam Cincerello. Chase, I got to start by asking a hard question, but it has to be asked up front. Mathematically, the way it looks now is that if Eli doesn't show up next week, which based on the injury, it's more than likely he's not confirmed by the team, you would be the Supercross champion. I know that's hard to kind of accept right now in the moment with what happened, but just take me through what you are thinking right now after a race win and a dramatic ending from Eli and the situation that you're in now as a week away from being a champion.
Yeah, it's definitely tough to kind of not to swallow, but to comprehend. I honestly didn't know what was going on. I didn't know if his bike was broke or broke a wheel or something. So I just found out after the race that he hurt his ankle. Obviously, there's a lot of speculation on what actually happened as far as muscle damage-wise. But for me, I just wanted to capitalize when I saw that he obviously was going backwards. And obviously, that's not the way you want to see someone go out, especially someone like Eli. He's so gnarly, and he's been super, super gnarly the last couple of years. And, yeah, obviously a great competitor, and I love racing him. So tough way to see him go out, and, yeah, definitely wish him the best. And for me, my game plan stays the same, and that's what I'm looking at right now.
Well, congratulations on the win tonight, and I'll open it up right here.
For Adam, you started the season saying your life was still pretty good. You were managing your expectations, but then it took so long to get back to the podium. Can you describe your emotions on how it feels to finally get here?
No, not right now. Yeah, it's been a wild couple years for me. Just battling a lot of health stuff, and really I've just had to dig so deep. Like, there's so many times I've almost quit or thought I was done. And I really mean that. Like, when I got back on the bike, and I didn't do a lot of riding in the off season, and it wasn't looking good for me. Even December time, I'm like stressing it big time, and obviously I haven't been exactly where I wanted to be this year. I'm used to having at least pace and being up towards the front, and I haven't had any pace, and that's been tough to, in the races anyway. It's been tough to swallow for me, and it was discouraging to start the year. But right around Indianapolis, I really just had to come to Jesus with myself, really, and said, this is no way to live. Like, I was being so hard on myself, just wasn't talking very nice to myself, wasn't having a lot of fun, and I kind of turned it around, and I think it's all about what you notice in life, and I started noticing the positive things and being grateful for what I had, and it kind of made my work during the week a little bit better, and I was able to, get some momentum going. And obviously with Eli going out tonight, like echo what Chase said, you never want to see that. And look, I know it's the end of the season, and there's a lot of guys hurt. I do not care, man. I'm like, obviously I want everybody to be healthy, but for me to be back here is a big testament to everybody around me. Yeah, I'm stubborn.
Yeah, Jason Fraser, Ken, I'll go to you. Just talk about the first two turns of the race and what you're up against.
So I took a little bit of risk going so far inside on the gate, but all the ruts were so horrible, and it was kind of one of the best ruts after the gate. And I knew that if I had the jump and just click gears and held it open, I would have a good start, and I really did, but I just don't think I had enough of a wheel, and I ran it in there hard, got closed off, and unfortunately went down. Didn't get hit, which was great. Bike was still running, picked it up, and second turn, there were a couple of guys down, and I ran right in there and just had to pull my bike out and get going again. And then, after that, I just kind of went all caveman style a little bit and just charged forward and had fun with it because I really had nothing to lose, and I had a lot of fun out there. And I think this is the best I've ridden in a long time. And I think with a better start, or at least not going down, I think I could have had a chance at maybe being closer to the win and battle chase, but not today. But overall, I got to take the positives. Bike was running great. I was feeling great, and second again, another podium. I'm beyond happy.
Jamie with Vital MX.
Yeah, Chase, let's go to you first, man. We just had this conversation a few nights ago. I asked you what your motivation was with these last couple races. You said to win, and it's not over. But I want to go back to the heat race. You caught and passed Eli, and then Eli actually kind of seemed like he caught back up, and then you got into Joan Cross a little bit also. It looked like, talk about that, and just Eli seemed like he was able to match your pace once you went by. Were you concerned at all?
The heat race with Eli was fun. Him being out front, I always kind of had the opportunity to look at lines and just sit back a little bit and take my time. And once I kind of got into a flow, I caught him and got by him, and then he just kind of got behind me and followed my lines and was able to stick with me. And then I got into a few lappers, and it was an interesting race. Like I said, I love racing Eli. He's super clean, and he's a bulldog, man. He won't give up, and it was a good heat race. Obviously, I want to be, if I'm in a race, I want to win, and having Eli in the heat race, it's not that points matter, but it is nice to go out there and get in front of the guy you have to beat. So that was positive, and it's never over till it's over, and that's something I've said for the last three or four races. So obviously we have another round, and we'll see what goes on.
And Adam, you've already talked about you showed the emotions on the podium. You just talked about it a little bit ago, how much this means to you. But honestly, just the way you're riding tonight, you look a lot like your old self. You look like you're closer to 100% than you've been all season. Does that give you any extra not motivation, but excitement going into outdoors?
Yeah, I mean, I think it's been one day at a time for me, and what this whole kind of experience has taught me when you're kind of so far away from this goal, from these guys, from being up here, you got to take it day by day, and really I kind of judge myself on the quality of my work and not the results. That's kind of the only way I've been able to continue, really, and to not give up and still be here. So, yeah, I mean, it gives me confidence. I really like the track tonight. I flowed well, and, I mean, I know that I can still do this. Like, I know I can still do this at a high level. I wouldn't be here just collecting a check otherwise. You know, I'm here to do well. I believe in myself, obviously, or I would be maybe co-workers with Daniel over here. But
settle down, stay on the bike.
But it gives me a lot of confidence going forward for sure.
Awesome. Well, congrats to you guys. It's really great seeing AC and Ken back up on the box, man. It's awesome. Good job.
Thank you. David Iser.
Thanks, Daniel. That entire podium is all about perseverance. You all have your own stories about being there. AC, how many times did you allow yourself to envision this as a carrot to get back after all the ups and downs?
Man, that's a great question. I've laid in bed so many nights and imagined this moment right here and like what I would say and what I would feel, and I mean really everything in vivid detail probably a few times a week. I mean, I love the sport with everything in me, and I always have. And it's no secret I've been battling some health problems, and it's difficult when you're not sure what your best is going to be on Saturday. It's been really difficult for me, and but today is a good day.
And it was an emotional podium. Congratulations on being back on the box. Chase, it's announced that Eli suffered a ruptured Achilles, and he's out for the final round. You are the champion-elect. Are you just being respectful of the process, or has that not sank in yet?
I mean, it hasn't really sank in, and I don't know. It's like I said, you don't ever know until you get to the last race. I haven't heard anything, obviously. So it's just, yeah, I've obviously been saying that it's just never over till it's over, and it's 17 races, so it's tough to see Eli go out like that, like I said, and yeah, it's definitely a little bit weird coming in, being so far down, and just not hoping that anything would go wrong, but hoping I just go out there and put my best foot forward and win these last few races and see what happens. And yeah, I guess really the mindset stays the same, but we'll see in the coming week what goes on. And yeah, I don't know. I don't really know what to say at this point.
Well, congratulations on your 450 Supercross championship. Thanks, guys.
Dan Beaver, NBC Sports for Chase. A lot was written, a lot was said, and you acknowledged the mistakes that happened in the middle part of the season. Last 3 races, not counting the mud race, you have been flawless. Can you talk about the mental toughness it took to reverse that?
Yeah, it definitely was not easy at all. I've said before, it's tough to even, when those were going on, to even go on my phone. Just between people texting me, trying to help, or everyone having their own opinions on what my problem was, and then going on Instagram, social media, just seeing the comments, and it was tough, honestly. It kind of weighed a toll on me, and I got a little bit negative middle of the season, and some of those crashes I think were caused just by being negative and not having confidence in myself, and knowing that I can win these races. And I think just having that break after Seattle, having another crash while leading, I needed something just to clear my head. I didn't ride really at all that week. I didn't train. I just told myself I need a break. And then I went, hung out in Santa Barbara, where my trainer is, and I just kind of reset and came back, did some testing, and from here on out, it's been super solid. Those race wins definitely helped the confidence, and yeah, it's just you gotta push through that. Like I said, when that stuff was going on, you gotta try to stay positive, and I knew I could dig myself out of it, and it was just a matter of time.
So then, with Cooper's issue last week, with Eli's issue this week, it doesn't take away from the fact that you have been so strong. Is that emotional whiplash?
Yeah, I mean, I really think having 17 races, all the training that I do during the off season is to be durable and try and be able to last through 17 races. And for me, that's been the biggest thing. I've had some big get-offs in the last few years, and I don't think, honestly, without my training program, I'd be able to get up from those and keep racing. So you got to be durable, and that's, like I said, that's why I do the hard work during the off season and go to the gym. And people say I'm too bulky, too big, but it's what I do. I try and do my hard work and try and be durable in those situations. And in 17 races, you need that.
Grace with Speed Sport.
Thank you. Grace Loving with Speed Sport. This one is for Ken. Ken, just like Adam, you've visited the recovery road, with all of your injuries. Just with your success and, this podium streak that you're on, can you just kind of talk about how rewarding it is to make it back from circumstances like that, and just what it is about this sport that brings you back every time?
Yeah, it's no secret that I as well have had a couple of really hard years physically with my health, and that weighed on me heavily mentally as well. And it's like what Adam said, it sucks going into the weekend not knowing what you're going to get. It doesn't matter how much effort you put in. It was just a tough time, and I also was down in the dumps, and I didn't know if I was honestly wanting to do this anymore. It wasn't healthy for me mentally, physically, and but at the same time, I kind of just went one day at a time. That's really all you can do, one day at a time, and do what makes me happy, and hanging out with my family, seeing Griff grow up, and it's just, there's so many little things that contribute to all of this. And now that I think back to the beginning of the season and what we have been thrown in with, developing the bike, and that where we are at now is, it's a difference like day and night. You can see it in my riding and everything. And it wasn't just only trying to make the bike better, but I was also trying to build on myself. I haven't in the last few years, made it through an entire Supercross season a whole lot of times. And, yeah, we got one more to go. But I think this is honestly, weirdly, one of the best years probably I've had, and definitely the most fun I've had in a long time. Though there were some tough times again this year. But right now we just kept charging forward. And I think it's just about the people that I have around me, my team, friends, family, everything around me. It's all the puzzle pieces that I was always talking about that I need to put together somehow. And I feel like we have done that, and we can always be better. But at the same time, we got to enjoy the moment and be satisfied with what we got right here, right now, and look forward, charge, and I'm planning on always surrounding myself with good people, of course.
Thank you, and congrats to you all.
Kenny, I want to follow up on that. In the offseason, when you made the choice to go to HEP, the Pipes family, there was a team that was on their rise, right? But they hadn't been at this level before. I know this is a lot of hindsight, but go back to that decision. You knew what you were getting into with the team. They had to elevate to a level. You had to elevate to a level. Does it feel rewarding now, knowing that you made that call and what you've been together and where that team has gone now because of your success?
Absolutely. When I went and tested the bike, I don't want to say I made up my mind, but I had a good idea on the direction that I wanted to go. But I wanted it to be fair and give every bike that I was trying, or for every team that I was trying out, I wanted to keep it fair and do everything that we have planned, and not say, hey, I'm not going to go ride that bike because I want to do this. So I went there with an open mind, and I felt the bike had really, really, really good bones, but that also came with a lot of work because we had to. It went from motor to clutch to suspension. Like, we had to really flip the bike upside down. I just think maybe nobody before that has put in really that aggressive time. And when I want something, I'm persistent. And the team, I mean, if I want a horn on my bike, they put a horn on my bike. So that's pretty rad. And it also shows what we're doing. It's in black and white again, right? Like, I think if we all work together and team listens to the rider and rider listens to the team, everything respectfully handled, I think it's a recipe for success. And it was a big gamble, but I followed my gut. But then in the end, doing it and actually making it happen, getting a win and podiums and just like pushing this entire train into a good direction, that's a whole other story. You can dream about it, think about it, and it might never happen, but it did. So I think that's why I'm so happy, and I think that's why we all are happy, honestly. So,
Mitch Kendra.
Hey guys, Mitch Kendra with Racer X, kind of going off what Iser said. You guys all kind of three have that, never give up mentality. You guys have raced each other for a couple of years now, but you guys have trained with each other during the week. You're all talking about the people you have around you, whether it's the teams, family, and friends. I'm sure a little bit of that between riding with you guys rubbed off on one another. Obviously, Ken's injuries and everything that you guys have gone through. And all three of you just kind of touch on, being around each other and just helping each other through hard times, and just kind of talk about that experience of what it's like being there for, a friend of yours and also a competitor, and just, a good friend of yours. Just kind of talk about that, because I'm sure you guys kind of rubbed off, during the hard times you guys went through, kind of rubbed off on one another and helped one another through those times.
I think we can all agree. I think the biggest thing is putting your ego down, and we push each other, but we're friends also, and I think, me and Chase been hanging out a lot. Adam and I are a lot on the phone, and I'm just genuinely stoked, that once you accept that there are young guns coming up, and it was just like how I was. I came up, and then I was kind of on the 250. At times I was faster than Dunge, and it bugs you a little bit, but I think once you accept that, and I just think overall and honestly, when we're together, we don't even talk about dirt bikes most of the time, and I think friendship comes first, and I think that's why we're all gelling together at the moment. So,
yeah, it's been an interesting dynamic. Like, I feel like kind of the start of my pro career, like, I was staying, before I even bought a house, I was staying with Ken. He was like kind of big brother to me, and then at one point I felt like I was kind of big brother to Chase when he came up. I remember he's like 15, 16 years old, coming and started riding with me, and I think you were a couple seconds faster than me during the week in like 2017. I'm out there trying to get like 9th on the weekend. But yeah, man, I think for me, and I really, if I'm gonna be real, I think something that maybe doesn't contribute to my results and like a personality trait of mine is I love seeing like my friends or just other people do well and succeed. And, I don't feel any type of, obviously Chase is, probably the Supercross champion. Ken in Indianapolis, I felt like I won the race. So I genuinely just love seeing my friends succeed, and it's cool to kind of have a brotherhood. We've all kind of walked the same road. It's hard to get here, whether you're winning or in 10th. It's difficult. These are the best guys in the world, and yeah, stoked to have these guys as friends, and always stoked to see them succeed.
Yeah, I moved to Florida in 2016, and moved to Claremont, obviously, which is pretty much the hub of moto at this point. And I started riding at it was called the Nest at the time with these two. That was when Kenny, 2016, I don't know did you win a few races that year? I don't know. He won a few races that year. So, and then obviously Adam, Adam was kind of, I feel like I was closer obviously with Adam at the beginning, just because him and I had similar interests. We played golf a lot together. And
you guys were dorks back then.
Yeah, we were. And so Adam and I hung out a lot. And honestly, I looked up to both of them, and I was really intimidated of Ken just because he was winning every race pretty much, and it was a little bit hard to come up to him and start talking to him. So Adam and I were close, and then he kind of took off.
I wasn't intimidating.
He wasn't as intimidating.
My results didn't intimidate you?
No, I mean, at that point, you were kind of like, you didn't really hit your prime until I was like pro, basically. So it was kind of cool to see Adam 2019.
And you're saying I've peaked already.
No. I'm saying you were in your...
Come on, guys.
I'm not saying... I didn't mean
I'm
that.
kidding.
But Adam in 2019, obviously the outdoor championship was so gnarly, and to see him do that was awesome, especially after how that Supercross series ended. And obviously with Ken and his injuries, it's just been... I've seen a lot. I've seen these guys go through a lot, and I've obviously had my own ups and downs. And now with Kenny, Adam moved to California, went to the dark side. So Kenny and I are in Florida, and we've been hanging out a lot. And it's pretty cool just because we don't talk about dirt bikes. And we honestly, every time I go down to the line, like one thing I look forward to is talking to either Adam or Ken. It's just nice to have friends down there, and just it feels more comfortable, I should say.
Relaxing.
Yeah, relaxing.
Awesome. Thanks, guys. I really appreciate the great answers.
It's a 50-minute answer. It's going to be a long press conference.
That's good. Final question, Alex Gobert.
Thanks, DB. Yeah, Alex Gobert, MotoOnline.com. For you, Chase, you've had 4 wins in the last 7 races. So is it important to you at this point of your career just to kind of get those repeats of getting to the checkered flag first and having that celebration and just building up the experience of race wins and main event wins in the Premier class?
Definitely. Middle of the season when I was having those mistakes, I was like, man, can I even win a race? Like, I know I can go fast enough to win, but can I put it together? And it was tough. Like I said, it was a lot of hard times with myself at night, just by myself and being negative. But I think, like I said, I turned around after Phoenix. I won Atlanta, and that was a huge race for me. Just being solid the whole main event, and then it's kind of just bled over into these wins, and it's never easy. And winning races in this class is super, super tough. And man, like I said, I'm really happy with how I've been riding. I just feel complete as a rider at this point, at least more complete than I have been. And yeah, I want to get better. And seeing all those stats with Eli having 50 wins, I mean, that's super motivating, and he's got a long road ahead of me. So that's obviously something I want to kind of chase, try and get as many wins as I can. And yeah, every win means a lot to me.
Awesome. Thank you. Congratulations to each of you guys.
Congratulations, guys. We'll see you next week for the final in Salt Lake.
Thank you. Thanks.
250s. Let's roll. Rick?
Floated weird. Like, you didn't loop, you, like, just floated. Sorry, Dan. Knock it off.
No, don't watch RDL next week. You won't like it. 250 podium from the Denver Supercross. Congratulations, RJ Hampshire, Levi Kitchen, and Jet Lawrence. RJ, man, that was wild. The incident on the double, neutral, I'm hearing you hit neutral. What were you thinking right then? Was it just, this ain't over, I'm going back? Because, I mean, that's what we saw, but is that what your brain thought immediately right there, that the comeback was going to start right then?
Yeah, I mean, I told too many people this week that I was going to win tonight, and
you did, by the way.
Yeah,
before the race.
I told you
said you're gonna
right
win.
after the practice. So I knew I had a shot at it before I made the mistake, and then I'm pretty sure I dropped my times even faster after that than what I was running before. Whenever I crossed the finish line right after the mistake, I looked over, and Levi was already in that right-hander after the mechanics area, and I was like, man, I probably lost about 6 or 7 seconds right there. So I knew that next lap was important. I don't know how much faster it was, but I knew I closed that gap back in, and kind of gave me hope. I was like, oh boy, we still have a shot at this thing. So yeah, I mean, it was a lot of fun. Made the main event a little bit more exciting than what it should have been. But yeah, just super stoked on the whole day, and finished the night on top.
Congratulations.
Dan Beaver, NBC Sports. RJ, it was going to take a wild set of circumstances to catch Jet, but how gratifying is it then to win the race on the same night that he clinched?
I've seen the 18 in front of me way too many times, so I was not. I was so stoked off the start that he was not in front of me. So like right there, I was like, all right, like I have a shot at getting this thing, and yeah, I mean the way New Jersey ended. I mean, that was it. Like, that was my last shot. Like, even if he would have came here and did what he did tonight, he still would have wrapped it up. But still, I mean, the kid had an awesome year, and I had nothing for him, leading up before tonight. And did what I could tonight, and just super stoked that we were able to knock one off here before the end of the season.
And for Jet, you were on a mission. I mean, the fall in the heat, the bad gate pick, but then coming from, was it 10th, 11th? Can you describe what was going through your head as you were slicing through the field?
Yeah, no, it didn't go as planned in the heat race. I mean, it just kind of, one guy went left, so I went left also, and ended up being another rider there, which is not ideal, but hey, we ended up going through and getting qualifying. I think that was my worst qualifying this year with an 8th. And then heat race, main event, the gates were like wrecked. All the ruts out past the gate were just chewed up, and there was only a few good ones, and I found an okay one on the inside. It was not too many holes in that stuff, but I had a lot of loose stuff on top, and I got a not bad at jump, but this spun once we got on the dirt, and I'm like, well, we're starting here again, so I just kind of took my time. I knew I had to get 10th or better, so I was just like, all right, we'll just chug along, see where we end up, and I got into 3rd, I don't know where, and I think maybe a little bit halfway, I think, and yeah, both the boys out front, I'm like, you know what, we're just going to wrap it up here. If the track's not the track to try and send it on right now with how there's not much traction, so I mean, I'm happy with 3rd. We didn't quite equal Hunter as on his championship, but I mean, we still get number 1 play at the end of the day, which is nice.
Yeah, Jason from Racetracks. Jet, I think you and Hunter are tied in career wins, and you got 1 race to go between you. I know you both have titles. Does that mean something now that you're tied on career wins and you have 1 race between you?
I know. I mean, it's kind of I've already kind of done my job this year, but who knows? We'll see. We'll go into Salt Lake City, see where we see how we go there, and just how the track is. I mean, if we're feeling it, we're feeling it. But if not, I'm not going to try and push anything. My focus now is on the outdoors with 450, and it was that's probably what I'm going to next. Is it was a bummer to see one of the legends kind of get hurt tonight. It was I was really looking forward. It was I was actually talking to AC before the heat race. Was like very excited for outdoors. So I get to kind of race one of the legends of the sport. I mean, 51 wins. Is it just Supercross or is that total?
Just Supercross, yeah.
Jeez. I know there's plenty more outdoors from him. So, I mean, I was looking so forward to that. I mean, I think if I would give up my right arm to ever go race up against Ricky Carmichael or James Stewart back on there last year. So, I mean, it sucks. I hope he can come back at least maybe next year or something. I get to race him because, I mean, that would be an awesome experience to race such a legend like himself.
Jamie with Vital MX.
Yeah, Jamie, Vital MX. Levi, great ride tonight. You've been getting better and better each season. This has been a very successful season for you. I think you're 4th in points still right now. Just talk about what you've learned this season and where you feel like you are in your career.
Yeah, it was definitely a solid night. And, obviously I feel like I let that one slip away a little bit after RJ made that mistake. But taking the positives, I mean, I haven't really been in that position too many times in my life. So it's definitely different when you're running up front like that. It's easy to get tight and stuff. So overall, I'm stoked, and I'm really pretty excited with how the years went so far. I mean, I've had a few bad races, but overall, I mean, I think this is podium 3, and I got to win at a Triple Crown. So I feel like I accomplished a decent amount for kind of like, I mean, my second year, but, I think tonight was maybe my 10th race. So overall, I'm happy.
Right. And RJ, good ride. Obviously, the Supercross season's about to be over. Your team's a little light right now. Have we got anything official? Are you doing 250 or 450 outdoors? Has there been any discussion?
Yeah, I'm a 250 racer.
Okay. Thanks.
David Iser.
All right. Thanks, Dan. Jet, you've won 4 titles, but this is the first one where you're moving up to a 450. Was it tough to balance that, finishing this out, knowing that in a few weeks you'll be on a 450 debut?
I don't know. I mean, sorry. I kind of did like max maybe 10 minutes of riding on a 250 on Supercross on Wednesday because we've just been so focused on outdoors because we realized the more time I had on 450, the faster I actually got. I mean, after Nations, we did 6 weeks, 109 450s, and I got even faster from then. So this we've been kind of focusing on 450 once we kind of had got that bigger points lead after New Jersey. So we just kind of be focused on 450 a lot. I mean, it could have played effect tonight, but I mean, we were able to wrap it up. And now kind of, like I said before, my focus is on 450. I'm looking forward to it. But like you said, it hasn't really changed anything for me for what I was thinking mentally for this championship. It was the same goal as every other one. Just get through the night and just kind of see how it goes and just kind of take it how it is, whatever comes at me.
All right, congrats on your title, brother.
Thank you.
RJ, when you guys crash, are you hyper aware when you get back on the track to make sure you don't gain an advantage, or is the adrenaline going and you're just trying to? Yeah, it's an afterthought of how you get back on the track.
Are you talking about tonight?
Yeah, just like tonight, like when you guys, I just know that you have to make sure you get back on the track and not gain an advantage so you don't get docked. Is that in your mind, or you just your adrenaline is so pumping you just hop back on the track?
No, if anyone rolled around the whoops today, you know how slick it was. And I about 360'd as soon as I got on the gas. So I kind of backed it down. I was like, all right, make it to the end, and knew I could bank off that berm. But yeah, dude, I lost so much time doing that. I wasn't really too worried about where I was after that.
Okay. Thanks, guys. Congratulations.
Alex Gobert.
Thanks, Daniel. Alex Gobert, MotoOnline.com. For Jet, congratulations on another championship. How does this one rate compared to obviously the past titles that you've won? And does it make it that little bit more special considering, just last week you were celebrating with your brother, both brothers 250 SX champions on the different regions. So, just tell us about that.
No, it's I definitely wouldn't say it was as good as Hunter's. I mean, Hunter's one I was definitely probably a lot more pumped up for, just because that's been a long time coming, and he's definitely the most person that deserves that. And I mean, any championship you're pumped for, but I definitely wouldn't say I was probably most pumped for this one. I mean, I had other ones that I had to come back through and had a really good kind of I've gotten told second title's always hard to win, like with outdoors. So I mean, it's yeah, I mean, it's not a championship. You got to be happy. It's this year's been so far pretty good, so I'm definitely happy about that with a lot of race wins. And now, obviously, my worst finish is a third, but for a while it was a second 2 times. So I mean, it's been a pretty good season so far, and I'm definitely happy to leave the 250 off of those notes.
Thank you. And for RJ, quickly, you've had such a good season, a lot of podiums, a lot of runner-up results. So to get a win at this point of the year, does that kind of, I guess, validate your season just that one step further?
Yeah, it was huge. Someone told me that it took me 7 years to get 7 podiums. And this year, that was just my 6th one. So looking at the big picture, like, I mean, I've been doing it long enough now, but this year just seems like things have been clicking for me. And, yeah, I mean, I enjoy going racing on the weekends. I love riding my bike right now. My team, the group that we have around me. Yeah, I mean, I really wish I had a little bit more fight in the championship, but still, I mean, just an awesome year, awesome season so far.
Thank you.
Mitch Kendra.
Hey, Mitch Kendra from RacerX Online. Levi had a good ride tonight. A little bit of changes this weekend. You had the Chest Pro over the jersey. You had some limited edition boots, but you also thanked your mechanic Connor earlier this week about your relationship with working with him. You know, obviously the relationship between a rider and mechanic is something maybe people, you know, it's maybe underrated in terms of like rider success. Can you talk a little bit about your relationship with him and, you know, who's going to be your mechanic stepping in here as we look out to finish Supercross and head into Promotocross? Can you just talk about that a little bit?
Yeah, me and Connor have come a long way. The two of us, I actually hired him back in 2019, and we were living in a motorhome together, kind of just doing the deal and just chipping away. And yeah, that was kind of when my amateur career took off anyway. So he definitely came a long way. And man, it's been a great, you know, last 4 years with him. And now I have Hunter Layton working for me, which unfortunately my teammate Romano's hurt, so it's really his guy. But yeah, we'll see what Connor goes off and does. I don't know. He kind of wants to fly a helicopter or something like that, apparently. So we'll see.
Awesome. Thanks, man.
Yeah.
Darren with Moto Limited.
Thanks, Daniel. Congratulations, RJ, on your first win tonight. Jet, just describe to us how the Lawrence family celebrates 2 championships in the household at one time for all your Australian fans, or is it straight back to work on the 450 with your dad?
People know Daz. It's kind of we'll celebrate tonight, but then tomorrow we fly back and it's back at the chalkboard. I mean, now I've said earlier, it's kind of my main focus now is 450. It's a kind of big task coming up. Got a lot to learn with those guys. They guys have a lot of knowledge and that stuff. And same with Hunter. He's got this week he was focusing on outdoors because now he's got an outdoor title to try and win. So hopefully he has a good run at that. And obviously then for me it's kind of a little bit easier for me. You could say I'm not going expecting to win straight away. I get to go and kind of feel where I'm at for 450 and then just kind of have fun with it. I mean, it's been a while. 250's kind of hasn't gotten boring, but it's kind of got pretty repetitive now, where now 450 is kind of like a new chapter. It's kind of 250's died off now. Now it's time for 450. So, I mean, excited for it. But, yeah, celebrate tonight and then tomorrow morning, flight back to Florida. We'll recover and then work back on Monday.
Thanks. And once again, congratulations. I know the whole of Australia is behind you and good luck on the 450. Thanks, Daniel.
Thank you. Congratulations, guys. RJ on the win, Jed on the championship, and Levi on another podium. We'll see you guys at the showdown next week.
Thanks.